Hey survivors, today I'm just here with Indy. John is on a road trip and he's probably stuffing his face with delicious vegan food, and I'm kind of jealous. But I'm in a location that my dad used to bring me when I was a little kid, and I think it's the perfect place to share with you how we started the Vegan Zombie. But first, I need to find a place to set the camera down because I'm kind of getting vlogger's arm. So over here is probably good. Perfect, that's a lot better. Now, I've done several interviews and explained in a very brief way why we started the Vegan Zombie or how it came about. But today I want to go into a little more detail, tell you exactly how it happened and the events that led up to it. And I'm going to start from when I was at a very young age. I was always around movie cameras and home movies. My dad did that even before I was born, so he filmed my brothers and sister and I growing up, and we would make, you know, silly home movies. And you know, every summer he'd put up a sheet in the backyard and we'd invite the neighbors over and we would watch those movies. So it's just something that I've always been around and something that I really, you know, connect with. I really like doing it. Later on, when I was about 16 years old, I had a part-time job and I saved up all my money, and I had that decision where I could buy a car or buy a camcorder, and I chose the camcorder. I figured I'll buy the camcorder and my friends can drive me around in their car and I'll just film all the crazy stuff we do. And basically we would just go out and do crazy things and film it, or film our skateboard sessions, and then I'd go home and I'd put two VCRs together on top of each other, and that's how we had to do it back then because we didn't have the luxury of personalized home video editing programs like we do now. So yeah, it was two VCRs that were put together, and I'd press pause, stop, and then I'd put music in it, and that would be our videos that we would make. And then later on, when I graduated high school, I didn't exactly want to go to college right away like all my friends were doing. I wanted to take a little bit of time off and figure out what I wanted to do before I wasted my time. So I took a couple years off, and then at that point I wanted to go to school. I wanted to do something, but I had to figure out what I was going to do. My main love was film and being a director someday, or doing something with movies and video. But at that time the internet wasn't what it is today, and there wasn't that, you know, that platform like we have at YouTube where you could just put your work out there and hundreds or thousands of people can see it all over the world. I didn't know anyone in the industry and I wasn't independently wealthy, so I weighed my options and I said, okay, it's just going to be a hobby. I'm just going to do it as a hobby because it's what I love doing, but I'm going to figure out what I'm going to go to school for, something different, something that I can make a career of. I ended up wanting to be a special agent in the FBI. I wanted to work the violent crime unit. I wanted to solve violent crimes, and I was very passionate about it. I was inspired to do this, and I put 100% into what I was doing. So, you know, I went to school and I did the best I could. I got the best grades I could. I was doing my own research outside of school, reading everything I could, educating myself. That was my passion. I wanted to do this so bad, and I spent probably a good 10 years trying very hard to get to that point. And it's a very, very competitive process for those of you that know anything about that. And you know, I got through the first and second part of the testing, and then it kind of fizzled out from there. And I ended up taking a few jobs as stepping stones to get to that end goal, and you know, they were okay, they were decent pay, and it worked fine for me, but it wasn't something that I was passionate. It wasn't what my goal was. I didn't meet that end goal. And about 5 years ago, early spring 2009, working my full-time job, driving the back roads of upstate New York, I started thinking to myself, there's got to be more than this. I can't do this the rest of my life. I'm not passionate about this. I don't like this. I can't even fathom thinking that I'm going to do this every day until I retire. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't inspired, and I was feeling really down about that. And I wanted to do something that I love doing. I wanted to be inspired and be passionate about something again. And then I started thinking, what can I incorporate that I love doing to make something work for me, something that I'm passionate about? And that's when I started thinking, okay, so film, I love making film, I love working with video, and I love the horror genre. and I've been vegan for half my life, so that's just something that's second nature to me. So I started thinking, okay, how can I mix these together? And I started thinking the vegan werewolf, vegan vampire, vegan zombie. It was perfect. And immediately I thought of a whole premise for a story. And then when I got home, I began writing a script, and I wrote a full feature for a movie that I intended to make, TheVeganZombie. And I went and bought a domain and got a website set up and opened a YouTube account. My intention was to, make this movie with my friends, and obviously it was going to be a low budget film, but I still wanted it to be quality. So I knew I had to go back and start teaching myself all the new updated programs out there for editing, for special effects, for visual effects. In order to do that, I wanted to start making some little skits before I attempted the movie. Also at that time, I remember watching cooking shows on TV, and I noticed that they were all pretty boring to me, and they were like one shot, and the only way I could get through one was if I really wanted to make that recipe, or if I just didn't feel like changing the channel, or I couldn't find the remote. So I wanted to make something promoting veganism here, and I was going to do that through the story of the Vegan Zombie. I figured, hey, I could make a vegan cooking show that's set in a zombie apocalypse where the lone survivor is a vegan, and he's fending off zombies and making delicious vegan recipes. And I knew that I needed to find somebody that was charismatic, funny, and vegan. So the first person that came to my mind was my youngest brother's best friend, John. And I pitched the idea to him. We met at one of our local grocery stores really late at night in the dining area of Wegmans. And I told him my whole story, and he was so excited. He wanted to do it, and we went from there. So this was also an attempt at promoting veganism in a non-judgmental, exciting, fun way, because like I said, I've been vegan for so long. I've seen so many different approaches to it, and personally for me and for a lot of other people, the in-your-face approach kind of makes a lot of people defensive and not want to listen to what you have to say, and I was never a fan of that. So I wanted to do something where everybody is invited to see the fun of it first, and then realize, hey, all these recipes are actually delicious and they're vegan, and then they can start researching more into that and saying, hey, this really is, something that I can do and something that we all should do. We started putting videos up, trying to get better at making visual effects and using our special effects. Basically, we were just sharing the recipes that we would make every vegan Thanksgiving. We'd have our friends over and we would each make a dish. We kind of just went through those, and we would make a video, and we would get like 20 or 30 people would watch it, and we'd be like, wow, people actually watch this, and they're saying that they love it. They want more. So we started making more, and we got to the point where we ran out of recipes to make. What are we going to do? We got to think of something else now. John actually has a culinary degree, unlike myself, but I have several years in the food industry. So between the both of us, we kind of come up with, our own recipes, half are mine, half are his, and we've made it work for 5 years now. So it's something that we both love doing, we're both passionate about. The real thing that inspires us to keep going is we get emails from you guys all the time saying, we've helped you to become vegan, or we've helped you in some other way, or hey, we're not quite vegan yet, but we make your recipes twice a week and we share it with our friends, and we're learning, and we love it. And that means so much to us. That inspires me to keep putting content out for you. I mean, if nobody watched our videos, if nobody commented, and if we weren't helping people, there'd be really no reason to make these videos, because if I'm just showing them to my friends and family, it's not enough to keep doing that. It wouldn't be something that I'd be passionate doing. But knowing that, we're getting this out there for you guys, and we're promoting veganism, and it's just something that I wake up every day and I'm passionate about, and we just wish that we could do this, all the time. We wish we could do it full time and have content for you all the time. But, maybe that'll be the next step. Maybe we'll be able to do that in the future. So yeah, that pretty much sums up how we started the Vegan Zombie, and I think I touched on everything. If you guys have any questions or comments, put them in the space below. And Indy's trying to tell me that there may or may not be zombies coming, so we're gonna get back to the safe house, and I'll see you guys next time.